Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Marjorie with Jetersbessings. Today is going to be a wreath, with a patriotic wreath, and I'm using this beautiful mesh and ribbon and also this God Bless America sign. I got them all from Craft Outlet. I got these little table scatters from the Dollar Tree, and I also have this 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I'm pulling out some 18-inch gauge wire ribbon, floral wire. This alligator clip with the tape I don't end up using, and then I also have some pipe cleaners that I got off of Amazon. So I've got 6 of these, and you'll see me struggling a little bit, but I got 6 of these and I'm just cutting them in half. And there goes half of them. It flew across the room, and I'll go get those in a little bit. But my cutters are kind of old, so it was didn't work out too well. So with this table scatter, there's 6 pieces, and there's 2 different designs. Now there's also another set with popsicles that I got that are patriotic, but I'm not using them for this. So I'm taking a hot glue gun and just adding a strip of hot glue down the middle, adding one of the 18 gauge floral wire, and adding just a little bit of hot glue back on top of it. You probably don't have to add the second layer, but I'm just being a little overcautious here. And so I do that, I only use a pack, and I do that with 6 of them. Now this is a beautiful sign. I love it. It looks rustic, but it has holes already punched in it. So for this, I'm just going to use some of this paddle wire. And I've actually got this from Michael's, and I've had it for years. So it's lasted me a really long time. And I got it at Christmas when it was like 70% off or something. So I got a really good deal that's lasted me for years. So I just cut off 2 long strips, making sure they're long enough to feed through the back of the frame and attach very nicely. Here, my OCD is just kicking in. I'm just trying to find the middle spot, and I give it a good 3 twists. Now, sorry about not being in frame. I've got a new setup here. I'm crafting in an area of the house that I haven't crafted in before, so yeah, I guess it's a little out of frame in some of this stuff. So I do that to both sides, and then I'll just put it aside because we'll attach the wreath later. But I wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. So this is a 14-inch wreath frame, and you see that's a crossbar, and that's a crossbar. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rings in that, and that's a section. So you'll see that I actually mess up a little bit here. And then I realized what wreath I was making. So I was in the inner 2 rings. I apply 1 pipe cleaner to the middle. And what I end up doing is I started making a work wreath for just a normal deco mesh wreath that I make. That's not a pancake wreath. So after I attached this second one to the outer 2 rings, I realized, oh, there it goes. My brain kicked in and said, what are you doing? So I just take it off. So what you do with the pancake wreath is you actually take a crossbar in the bottom 2 rings, and you actually attach one there on the crossbar, on each crossbar of the bottom 2 rings. And then in the middle of the inner 2 rings, you'll put a pipe cleaner, just as you see me doing here. So normally you would have 18 in a normal deco mesh wreath. You'd have 18 pipe cleaners, but here you only have 6 pipe cleaners. And then I take my deco mesh, and again, sorry, I'm a little off frame a little bit, but I just cut these at 20 inches. Now, again, my brain was still in the other mode of the other type of wreaths, not a pancake wreath. And so I cut them at 20 inches, but I think if I wanted to use the full row, I think I had to cut them at 25 if I remember correctly. But the 20 inches is fine. I had a little bit left over, and honestly, I just trash it because it's not enough to do anything. So I just do a regular ruffle method where I just lay it out and then I walk my fingers up. And then here, once I attach it, I give it a few good twists, and then I'm overlapping the ends. So it kind of looks like a pancake. So here I am walking my fingers up, and I'll do this the entire time till I reach the other end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach those. I'm going to work on the outer ring first, and when you do a pancake wreath, you must work on the outer rings first, and you'll understand why here in a little bit. But again, once I've got it applied, then I go ahead and overlap the ends, and then I just try to make sure that it's all nice and flat. So now that I have all 6 of those, I'm getting my ribbon, and I'm cutting mine to 14-inch tails. It's a little jagged, so I just cut that end off. I cut it to 14 inches. Now you can cut it at 13. I've seen some people cut it at 12. I personally would not do 12. But I think 13 or 14 will be okay. But again, this is up to you. If you create a wreath similar to this, then it's definitely how you want it. So I'm just going to cut the first 6 ribbons for my outer rings that I just completed. And here I'm just going to show you how to dovetail. So all you do is you just take and fold it long ways, and then I always cut up from the folded end up to the point. And that's how you just dovetail. So on this one, I'm actually using 1 2.5-inch wired ribbon and 2 1.5-inch wired ribbons. When I do pancake wreaths, I like to do 3 ribbons in the pipe cleaners because it makes it look a little bit fuller and nicer. Now I could do 2 2.5 and 1 1.5. It's absolutely up to you. Me, I just like to change it up here and there. It just depends. Now I got the other argyle brown, black, oh my goodness, brown, blue, and red. I got that all cut and trimmed. And here's this like bandana red one, and y'all, I got it from Craft Outlet. And if you guys have watched me for any length of time, you know I do not like satin ribbon. Well, even though it wasn't in the description, this is like a satin ribbon. And you see how it just curls on itself on the ones that's laying on the table. That's one of the reasons. I really don't like that type of material for when I'm doing bows and stuff. And so that's partly why I put it in the middle. Initially, I was going to put it on top, but since I realized what type of fabric it was, I just layered it in between so it could kind of lay down a little bit more. So I cut everything at 14 inches, and what you don't see me doing at the bottom is I'm counting. I'm counting the inches. So I just, kind of like I did the ribbon, I just walked my fingers up right in the middle, scrunched it up in the middle, and then I folded it in the middle. And now I just take it and put it on top of one of my little pancake deco mesh. And then I just kind of fluff these out a little bit. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of the ribbon tails on the bottom 6 or the outer 6. And I didn't cut off the pipe cleaner because I really didn't know what I was going to do with it yet. And y'all, I'm struggling. If you ever worked with deco mesh, deco mesh likes to stick to things. And so I probably should have worked a little smarter and cut all my ribbon tails and then folded them in half so I could work with it later. But your girl here did not think about that till it was too late. And so I was struggling, and this is me thinking, okay, yes, I'm going to do that. So then I just attach all the ribbon tails within the 6. And on that one, I just wrinkled it up in my hands. I didn't put it on the table. So I realized I'm just going to cut them all off, and I just cut them down and tuck it. The pipe cleaners, that is. And so I'm starting to work smarter, and I just add all my ribbons together and make these little sets, fold them in half. And that way, by the time I go to put them in, it works a little bit better for me. So then the only thing that I'm left to do is the same old ruffle method on the inner 6. And this is why you need to work with the outer ones first, because the ones on the top are going to overlap the ones on the bottom. And that's why you need to work from bottom to top. So now I have all the ribbons attached, and I am about to attach my sign. I actually just pull and look up under my wreath to find the center of a section to make sure that I center this correctly. And sometimes this can be a little bit of a challenge, excuse me, when it comes to adding signs through mesh. And this thin wire didn't help me very much. The deco mesh was getting in my way, and I was struggling just a little bit. And then I got my footing, and I was able to get it in. And that's another reason why I like this wire, floral wire, because you can't really see it too much on there. And so now once I've got it on there, then I'm just going to go to the top and attach the top the same way. I do want to take a minute to say thank you for everybody that stopped by and watched my video. Thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I really appreciate all the support that you guys are giving me on my channel. So now that I have the sign attached, I'm kind of just fluffing out those tails a little bit, making sure everything looks good. And then what I'll do is I'll actually get my little firecrackers, yes. So my sticks are a little too long. I was trying to just not put it in there, but kind of like I was trying to eyeball it. So I couldn't do it till I had folded it in half. Now I folded it in half and didn't cut it off because as I got to thinking about it, I could put the hot glue on both of the parts that are folded, and it'll just have more surface area for it to hot glue to. Because what I actually do is I don't hot glue it to the ribbon tails or the deco mesh, I'm actually going to hot glue it up under the sign. And like I said, they had two different patterns, and so I'm just going to alternate the patterns on here. Now this is all the additional embellishments I added, but you could definitely add in, you know, some different items if you wanted to, but I tried to keep it a little low. But see how flat that is? Normally my wreath widths are 6 inches, but this is a lot less. Thank you guys once again for stopping by. I love you. Have a very blessed day.